Hello, everybody. Welcome to the XP Billionaires podcast. This is week I stopped counting of our social isolation episodes. Time has no meaning anymore. I know we discussed that earlier this morning before we recorded, but it rings more and more true every week. I am your host, Rafe Thagrum, and with me I have Sky Knight and the Melzerker. So, Sky, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. It's a lovely day, and I've slept a lot. So,
Me too. And Mel, how are you doing today?
I'm going to agree that's a beautiful day, but beautiful days make me sleepy. So I've also been sleeping. On the plus side, I've been playing a lot of Animal Crossing. And though it is like, I don't know, I've had this game for like 3 weeks, I finally found the turnip seller on a Sunday. So I'm starting my time in the stock market. So wish me luck.
Awesome. Well, the best of luck to you on that. Well, yeah, I was gonna start us off with a check-in, see what everyone's been playing. Mel, you've already told us that, but has there been anything else you've been playing over the past week?
Yep, I'm into Persona Royale. So that's been an interesting experience. I'm finding myself fast forwarding through some of the early game that still is very clear in my memory, but I finally gotten to the point in the story where I'm starting to remember a little less, which is about Makoto's dungeon, or I guess Kanashiro's dungeon. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's there's definitely some ease of access stuff that I'm really enjoying, and I really like if everyone's played the new Disaster Shadows. I think they're really fun. They basically are just big bomb shadows. So yeah, I'm enjoying it, and I get to have all of the cool DLC from earlier games. So I'm using the persona that the lead character from 3 uses, and I have everyone dressed up as if they are from Persona 4. So I'm getting the whole experience.
Now, when you say the persona that the three antagonists says, are we talking Orpheus or are we talking Thanatos?
I am using Thanatos Picaro or Picaro.
Yeah, that's the one I chose in the original game. I picked up that DLC and I thought it was awesome. It was great having them.
It's
But
so good. I mean, if I want to use spells, I get like 3 Megidolons and like a whole dungeon because of how much SP it costs me. But that's okay because I have like a 70 in strength, so I just beat everything down with a ridiculous amount of force. I'm enjoying Akechi being having like a big full social link now. Really liking that. So
yeah, I'll be interested to see kind of how that goes. We haven't started it yet, but I hope it's really worth it in the end. All right, Sky, what have you been playing this past week?
well, I would like to say I had started Persona 5 Royal, but I have not because Digital Devil Saga 2 decided to give me the good old fuck you. One boss from the end, and now I have to do a crap ton of grinding because that boss is awful and I hate it. I am still upset at this boss. It's been like 2 days and I'm still upset at this boss.
do you have a sense of how much grinding you need to do to be able to beat it?
A fair bit because
Uh,
I need certain skills, and I've already done some grinding because there's other skills I thought I needed, but it still wasn't enough to beat it. And just fuck this boss. And it's not like optional or anything. It's like the second to last boss in the game. And I hate it so much, and it's really unfair.
It's terrible. I've watched Sky do it a bunch of times to no avail and got really close once. And then it decided to just speed up its patterns and kill it just before it was about to die. It was atrocious. Now, the good news is, after studying it and seeing kind of what we could probably do, I don't think there's as much grinding as you think that there'd be necessary. And we'll talk about that once you're ready to start playing it again. Because I've got a theory. Because you're doing something that other players don't typically, and I think that will help.
Well, that's good to know. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I can suck it up and look that boss in the eyes again and go like, "Hey, fuck you too, buddy."
And just like before, I'm happy to help you with the grinding. Don't worry about it.
It's the worst time I've had with an RPG boss in a really long time. And yeah. So, and I told myself I wasn't going to start Persona 5 Royal until I finished this one because I didn't want to overload on my Shin Megami Tensei spin-offs, you know? So, I will do it. I will do it. But in the meantime, because apparently my mood is like really dark games right now, I'm playing Darkest Dungeon.
Because of course you are.
Because of course I am. And I love it. It's brutally hard. Also seems to be a theme right now, but also entirely addictive. So, I don't know. Maybe there is just a smidge of the masochist in me, but only a
Maybe.
smidge. Anyway, Rafe, what have you been doing? Tell the good folk.
Well, one of the games I've been playing, I'm going to actually hold off on mentioning first because it's actually related to what we're going to be talking about today. But beyond that, I have been mostly playing Uncharted 2. I said last week that I started the Uncharted series. I decided to start Uncharted 2. I've gotten to, I think, chapter 5 at this point. So I'm still somewhat early in the game, but I'm still enjoying the game. I'm enjoying the story more than I am the gameplay, I think. It's the gameplay hasn't changed much between 1 and 2, so I'm hoping we see a couple of updates in either 3, hopefully 4. I don't know. It's like other than just the collecting and the running around, it's literally just a point and shoot cover shooter. So I don't mind it, but I like there to be a little bit more in my gaming. Maybe that's why I
Yeah.
like Mass Effect so much more.
I mean, I've only played 4, so my memory of it is that it is also pretty point and shoot from cover. But again, like the story is much better than the actual gameplay and the characters.
Exactly. And this is just one of those experiences where the story keeps me doing the gameplay so that I can experience more of the story. So that's kind of where we're going at. However, let's take a spin and do something completely different. Flip everything upside down from that topic with our discussion today. So we all have that one game that we go back to over and over again. Doesn't have to be an overall good game either. It could lack story, character depth, all the things that would make you normally interested in a game. It's just that guilty little pleasure that you should avoid but just can't. And there's no explanation why. While no reason is ever needed for why you want to enjoy something, I think it's kind of fun to find out what the guilty pleasures of others are, especially when it comes to gaming. So this week, we're going to share ours with you. And hopefully at this point, you'll have earned our trust and you'll let us know at some point on our social media because I would love to hear what everyone's guilty pleasure is for gaming. Now, for this particular episode, we're not going to guarantee that we are discussing RPGs this time because this is our guilty pleasure game. So while some of us will be, our choices will not necessarily require it to be RPGs. So we're taking a small break from that, but we are still RPG lovers. You'll get lots more content in that regard down the road. And like I said, you'll still get some this episode too. So I guess we're going to start with our newest member first, a little bit more of a get to know you session. So, Mel, what is your guilty pleasure for gaming?
All right, here we go. My guilty pleasure is 2009's classic, The Sims 3. It is specifically The Sims 3. I have played other ones. There are no expansion packs, and all I want to do is play the exact same 20 hours of gameplay like 3 times a year. So I just, it doesn't seem to be kind of out of anything in particular. Maybe it's like me wanting to control my life in some way. But basically, every time I start this game, I build the apartment that I currently live in and everybody who's currently living there. And I build up from there. I do not like my neighbors. I don't want anyone to talk to me. I just want to like run my life perfectly for 20 hours and then I completely drop it. I never go back to that family ever again. And even though I will rebuild the exact same thing with the same characters like 3 months later, I just do it. So I checked on Steam. I've only done it 157 hours. And last time I did it was right before Christmas. But that's the second time I bought this game. I also had it on CD back when people use those to play games. So yeah, as for like my usual kind of game is like I want story, I want character, I want to be able to explore the world. And like this game is like make it as small and compact as possible with nothing that I don't know. Yeah, so right now, Animal Crossing is kind of helping me deal with that want to redecorate, and it's kind of got that sense of like tedium. Like it's nice, but every day is sort of the same cycle. But yeah, like there's sort of this sense of this tedium of this game where nothing can really happen. It's meaningless. I learn nothing, but I always come back to it. So there you go. 11 years later, still playing The Sims 3.
I get it. It's comfort gaming, you know?
It's like a big bowl of macaroni and cheese in a game.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I'm a Sims 4 addict, right? So now I tend to go, I'm a builder. I don't do that sort of approach that you do, though I know a lot of people actually do that sort of thing. I've never built myself in The Sims 4. But oh man, it's sometimes when you just need something slow and fairly straightforward and just chill. Yeah.
Yeah, just sit there and like watch yourself watch TV.
There's something so meta about that.
It's very I'm just watching myself sleep at night. I'm like, yes, get a good night's sleep. Do it. I am your master and I command you to get 8 hours.
It's something like you're trying to be God over yourself, right?
Yeah, I just need a god to tell me what to do. What's the problem here? Just tell me what to do. I'm especially with the isolation, just wandering around your house being like, and now what do I do? It's such a part of life now.
Oh, it so is.
Yeah. See, here's the difference. This is the thing. You say you need a god to tell you what to do, but what it actually is that you need a competent god to tell you what to do. And in this case, the only competent god in the world that could control your life is you.
Oh
And
no.
that's why you do it.
It's a self-help book. I've written a self-help book for myself. Like, get up, have a shower, go to work, and I'm like, I don't want to.
Yeah, but the best part is your sim doesn't talk back to you, and that's the best part.
That's true. She doesn't get lippy. Sometimes she forgets what she's doing, but I feel that.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. This is great. All right. So let's move on to mine. I couldn't pick a specific game. Well, for me, I decided to pick a genre. Now the thing is, I only realized that this is what I do just this week when I found myself re-downloading Star Trek Online for PS4. Obviously, in this case, the genre is MMOs. Every so often, usually when I'm in between major upcoming titles, I get very listless and picky when it comes to what I play next. And that's what draws me to an MMO. Now, clearly, a lot of the time it's a free MMO, although I did spend, I want to say 6 months playing Final Fantasy XIV. But when it comes to the free ones, I'll play for a few weeks, maybe a month or more if I'm really into it. And then just like Mel with The Sims, I never look upon it again. The reason I don't play MMOs more regularly or have one, even a specific one that I go to, is because it is too much of a time investment. The stories, while in some cases, especially with Final Fantasy XIV, are very plentiful and really good, there's no end in sight. And I know I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but like I need there to be an ending for what I am doing. Now, at least with an MMO, I can set that goal. Like right now, while I'm playing Star Trek Online, I want to get through the Deep Space Nine storyline, but apparently I can't get to it until I'm around level 60. And I've gone from, I think, 17 to 40 just in the past week. I think that's about where I'm at.
Yeah, it's roughly that. I know because I've been watching you collect starships every 10 levels.
Yes, and I do have to say that every time I get a starship, the fact that I can customize it piece by piece, I think is really awesome. It's something I think Star Trek did really well. So, and it's beyond addictive, just kind of creating that perfect ship based on the template that you pick. So, I absolutely love that about it. But yeah, like again, if there's no end in sight, I lose interest, and that's when I stop. But I know that at some point that game or a different one is going to pull me in again. Maybe it'll be a new one next time. This is me revisiting it. I didn't get a lot of play with it the first time around because it was fairly new to the PS4 and a little bit buggy, if I recall. So I kind of stopped playing. But it's better now. And yeah, I'm hoping that it, keeps me going until I get to that next game that I want to play. All right. Well, we do have Sky's guilty pleasures. So why don't you give us those next, Sky?
Okay. Well, I've got a couple of them. The first is really silly strategy RPGs. We all know I'm the strategy RPG lover of this group of interesting people. And I'll play all sorts of types of them. Stuff like Disgaea, where you can basically grind forever, and the storylines are really silly. Or even something as inane, and I'm still so embarrassed that I finished this stupid game, was Final Fantasy Tactics A2 Grimoire of the Rift. I remember very little about this game. I played it years and years ago when it was still relatively new. Only the fact that I thought the story was completely inane, just utter garbage, yet I couldn't stop playing. And I finished it and basically said, get it out of my sight. I want to forget that I've ever played this. Much less the fact I finished it. When I need something like a guilty pleasure, it will often be a strategy role-playing game. And bonus points if it's ridiculous. The other thing I do a lot is mobile games. I am a dirty casual, I know. But yeah, I like having stuff on my phone to play, and because it's just nice. It's convenient, like I can play a little something on my phone to wind down before bed, or when I'm on the go. It's just easier because I have to have my phone with me anyway. It's great. And some of those are RPGs. Like I played Fire Emblem Heroes for ages on end. I played Fate Grand Order for about a year, I think
It was
it was.
it was about that. Yeah, we were both playing it, so
Yeah, we started playing it when it first launched and then played it for about a year. And I switch games all the time when I get tired of it. I'm not very committed for long periods of time to mobile games, but it's one of those things that's just nice and easy, and when I'm tired, it's something I can do.
yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Like, I can admit I suffer the same affliction. I have had Dragon Ball Dokkan Battle on my all of my phones for it's coming on closer to 3 years now. I started the game at launch, then I stopped playing it and lost my progress. So I decided at one point to just start it up again, and then I ended up starting out with a couple of really good pulls. And the next thing you know, I have 1,000 consecutive login days, and it's oh my god, I can't believe I did that. There's no more story content for the game. They haven't announced any new stuff. It's all just events, new characters. They're adding more challenging fights. They're making things really, really hard for veteran players. I mean, it's all to make you spend more money on, getting their summons. But I have not put that much money into it over the last year or so. I usually put a little down on my birthday because it's usually when the anniversary of the game comes out, and that's when they do all some of their biggest events. This year, instead of putting the money down, I've actually been hoarding the free stones they give out. And this game is actually one of the most generous games out there for stones, for premium currency, where they hand it out. I've actually been really impressed with how much they give out. There have been some arguments that the global version doesn't get the same generosity that Japan gets, but that's not a problem for me. Compared to other games, this is pretty intense how well it does. So it stays on my phone. I will continue to play it. I will continue to log into it. And yeah, I'm going to keep doing what events come out so that I can earn more stones. I'm hoping to have 800 premium currency is kind of what I'm guessing at, if everything goes the way I'm thinking it will. And if it does, then I will. The 600 currency is 12 pulls in the game, so that should give me a lot of really good chances to get some of the new banner cards that'll be coming out. So I'm definitely excited for that. But yeah, I completely understand the addiction that comes from mobile gaming. I jump from game to game all the time. I apart from Dragon Ball, I have not found a game that I can stick with for longer than, well, I mean, a year was probably the longest with Fate Grand Order. And even then, after that, it's usually rarely that much.
Which I think is good considering like some of the inherent problems with a lot of mobile gaming in terms of, gambling, gotcha systems. I think our major saving grace is that we don't really play passionately. So like we rarely even put money down. And
Yeah.
even when we do, it's only like once or twice, maybe a couple bucks.
Like I sort of have a rule where like if I like a mobile game, I will buy something to show like, okay, well I'll give you some money. But I decide like what I'm willing to pay, and then that's all the money I will spend on it moving forward.
That's just it. And one of the things we do is do the Google opinion rewards. So do like little they give you, it's an app that you can download from the Google store, and you can fill out little surveys, and they will give you some Google Play currency. Usually just, 10 cents to maybe 25 cents at a time, but that's enough that it racks up. And so if you want to spend a little currency on something, you've got some guilt-free money basically.
Yeah, it's come in really handy. I don't get the same amount of surveys that I used to anymore because most of them are usually related to where I've been, my shopping patterns. Have I been to this store recently, that store recently? I think it's pretty obvious why I'm not getting as many right now. Usually I would go to my work and then the next day I would be like, hey, were you at your store yesterday? And then they'd give me money for that.
Yeah, when we're stuck at home, it's a little harder.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah, that's like the
All
motto of
right.
life right now, isn't it?
It's kind of
Yeah, a
the
little
truth.
bit. I yeah, I definitely cannot wait for the day when I can actually go out into the wild and be able to window shop the same way I used to. I will always remember. I
I
will
have
never
a
forget.
I have a list of coffee shops like where I'm gonna go and sit and just work outside.
Oh man, the Canadian in me is kind of kicked in. I miss my ice caps.
Well, we already
Like,
missed Roll the
yeah,
Rim, so that's canceled. So it's been a rough year for us, the Canadians.
yeah, it certainly has. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this week's discussion on guilty pleasures in gaming. You've heard ours. Now, what are yours? Definitely let me know or let any of us know. You can find us on our social media. You can find me at Billionaires XP on Twitter or Rafe Thagrum at Instagram. Sky, where can everyone find you?
I'm at Skyknight XP on Twitter and skyknight.xp on Instagram.
All right. And Mel, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Feminist Gamer or Twitter at Feminist Gamer 3. I also GM a D&D actual play called Darkness and Dragons. We air live on Twitch every Wednesday at 6:30. And if you miss us, we're also on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, definitely. And don't forget to check out that last episode because a major plot arc was just resolved with surprising results.
Dun dun dun.
All right. And check out our website, xpbillionaires.wordpress.com, for written work and quickfire reviews of all the games we've played so far recently. And lastly, check out our monthly newsletter. It highlights some of the changes that have happened over the course of April with the XP Billionaires. And it'll be on our coffee page, coffee.com/XP Billionaires. And feel free to send us a donation if you're feeling generous and like us enough. If not, if you still like us, just share us, share us with your friends. That'd be awesome. All right, so that's it for this week. And remember, if it's what you need to feel good right now, don't be afraid to keep gaming. We'll see you next week, guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.